everyone, John here from Bite Cruises. Today we're talking all about Embarkation Day. If you are new here, we are a travel agency. We put out a brand new video every single day about cruising. If that sounds good, please subscribe and join our fun little community here. Today we're continuing our series for first-time cruisers, and really this video is for everybody to kind of catch up and think about Embarkation Day and kind of take a look at it, segment it out a little bit to make sure we have our tips and tricks down and we're ready to go. So today, let's go talk about Embarkation Day. Hey everyone, once again, John here from Byte Cruises. Let's get into Embarkation Day. So, let's get a few things out of the way first. Let's talk about pre-Embarkation Day. Before Embarkation Day, I just want to cover a few things. We have videos on a bunch of different things, what to do 90 days before, 60 days before, 10 days before, all those things. Here are the most important things. One, pack well. Make sure you have everything that you need before you leave for the port or before you leave to fly or whatever you're doing. Check in online when it's available, whether it's 45 days, 30 days, 21 days. They're all different. All the different cruise lines are different. Your travel agent should help you with that. So make sure you check it online. Make sure your credit card that you're going to use for your payments on board the ship is good to go. Make sure you're covered there. Make sure you call your banks to let them know you're traveling. And again, just a quick reminder, always fly in early. We see these things like the Microsoft thing that just happened. Flight delays, fly in at least a day early if you can afford to, if it works out for you, and plan all your transfers to and from the port on that day and when you get back. So that covers the what do we do beforehand. There are, again, lots of videos that we've done on all of those other things too, about packing and all the other things. So let's get into the day of embarkation. My first big tip for Embarkation Day is, before you leave for the port, take a deep breath, pack your patience. The morning is going to be a little bit stressful. It's okay. You're going on vacation. You're getting on a cruise ship. Look, there are going to be crazy people. You're going to see crazy people all week or however long you're cruising. Don't let those people bother you. Go forth and enjoy your cruise. Be patient. Things do take a little bit of time to get on a ship. Remember, there are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,000 people getting off the ship before you are allowed to get on. So the number of people on that ship that aren't crew has to be 0 before one person gets back on. So just be a little patient. God knows things pop up in everyday life. So when you get to the port, check your big luggage with the porters. Now, don't fret if you forgot your luggage tags. It's okay. They can put them on there. My general rule of thumb is stand there with them while they write your room number on there to make sure it's correct. You should remember your room number as well. Cabin number, and then tip the porters, get your luggage out of the way there, and then keep your carry-on with you. Now, keep in mind for your carry-on, here's what you want to make sure you have in your carry-on for day of embarkation: your medications that you need, any cash, any valuables, your credit cards, and then here's a pro tip: either wear your bathing suit under your clothes, pack it into your carry-on bag in case you want to jump on the ship. When you jump on the ship, your room is not going to be ready. So if you want to get on the ship and then go right to the pool and just relax and get your vacation underway, you can do that. My other tip is throw something that you can wear at night into your carry-on bag. I see this happen a lot on cruises, and I just saw it last week as I got on Joy, so I like to always remind people this because I forget all the time. I take it for granted because I don't bring big luggage, I just bring carry-on, so I don't have to worry about it. But I saw a family, I was eating at Ocean Blue on NCL Joy last week on Embarkation Day, and I ate there early, I ate at 5:30. So when I get to the restaurant, there's a family there, and they haven't gotten their luggage yet. And there's a dress code for Ocean Blue. And they said to the woman at the maitre d' desk, and they said, hey, we didn't get our luggage yet. Is it okay if we just wear shorts? And she said, no. You can sit outside and wear shorts, which they wound up doing, or you can not eat here and just go somewhere else and we'll reschedule it for another night for you. So keep that in mind. You do want to make sure, just in case you need to change or you need something with you, grab an extra set of clothes. You know, I mean, obviously, if you're bringing a small carry-on, maybe just throw a pair of jeans in there, or a pair of pants that you could roll, or a shirt or something like that, just to be on the safe side, but bring your carry-on with you. Next up, as you have your carry-on with you, you are going to go through an x-ray machine and security, so be responsible. Security has tightened up a lot. Read the list of things you can't bring for each cruise line. They each have their own little things. Some of them you can't bring liquor or sodas or snacks. Some of them you're allowed to bring one bottle of wine each. Some of them you're allowed to do this. Some of them you're allowed to do that. So double check. Remember, no marijuana, even if it's legal in your state. It is not legal internationally, and you are not allowed to bring that on the ship, and that includes CBD products. So no vape pens with CBD or THC in them, no CBD oils, no CBD gummies, anything like that. No THC gummies. They do have dogs. They do smell for those things. And yes, they can smell edibles. So don't bring any of those things with you through security. You don't want to get banned from your cruise or kicked off before you even get a chance to get on. Next up, before you board and you're waiting in there in the little terminal before they let you on board the ship, watch the safety drill, make sure you're up to speed on everything, and then as soon as you get on the ship, go to your muster station. Just get it over with. You will hear all day them making announcements. We still have 1,100 people that haven't done their muster drill because everybody just gets on the ship and goes to drink right away. It takes 2 minutes. Get your muster drill done. All they do is scan your card, most of the cruise lines, and you're done. That's it. You just have to know they're going to tell you 7 short, 1 long beef. If anything happens, come here. This is your spot. That's it. So go and get that over with. It's not worth waiting because they're going to keep calling you down to guest services. They're going to make you go the next day. Just go. It takes 2 minutes, get it done, and then move on. Next up, remember, when you get on the ship, unless you're boarding after 1 or 2 o'clock, you cannot go to your room right away. Most of the time now for some cruise lines, the rooms are ready about 1:30. For Norwegian, in my past 3 or 4 cruises this year, it's been 2:30, 3 o'clock. So keep that in mind. You're not going to be able to go to your room for hours and hours and hours. So that may change your thought about getting on the ship at 11. I don't care. I'm still going to try to get on the ship at 11. I'm going to try to get the earliest check-in time, get there and get there by 11. And then I'll just enjoy my day. I just wheel around my carry-on. I generally go and sit somewhere like the pool deck. I'll eat lunch. So here's my recommendation. Don't get on the ship and rush to the buffet because all the other 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people are going to the buffet. Everyone knows the cruise ship has a buffet. Everyone knows it's open for lunch. They're going to tell you when you get on the ship, you can go up to the X deck and go to the buffet. Don't do it. It's very crowded up there. It's going to add to your frustrations. Go to the dining room and have a nice lunch. Most of the time, one of the dining rooms are open. And if you really want to have a nice, relaxing day and you're on Royal Caribbean, maybe get the key. You get a nice little lunch from Chops in the dining room. If you have the key, you get a little steak and some salad and some soup, and you can really relax for an hour or so. That might usually bide your time until the rooms are ready. Or if you really want to splurge, go to a specialty dining restaurant. Especially, again, if you're on Royal Caribbean, the specialty dining restaurants are open on the embarkation day. Sometimes you can go to Chops or Jamie's or Giovanni's or anything like that. And it's a nice little way to kick off your cruise instead of running up into the maze that is the buffet where everyone is fighting to get seats, everyone's fighting to eat lunch at the same time. That generally doesn't happen again on your cruise, that everyone's going there at one time right away as soon as they do something. So that's my recommendation. Don't rush to the buffet. Or maybe just wait till later if you really want to grab something if you're hell-bent on going to the buffet. So next up, my recommendation while you're relaxing during your lunch is to make your reservations through the app. You could do all your dining, your show reservations, get them all done there. If not, before you go to lunch or after you go to lunch, you can always go to the designated spot where you can do your specialty dining reservations if you choose to do that, or your shows. They usually have a box office or someplace where you can go. Royal, it's usually going to be the app. And then for specialty dining, you can go to one of the specialty dining restaurants. On Norwegian, you can go to a special place. If you just ask where are you doing dining reservations, it's in different places on different ships. Same with Carnival and all those. It's generally really easy to do it on the app, and someone can help you with that as well. Even on Norwegian, I do it on the kiosks around the halls. It's easy to do that. You just swipe your card and make your reservations. Do that while you're at lunch. Review the daily program while you're at lunch. And what I like to do, I used to do it pre-pandemic, and now most of the cruise lines have brought back the paper programs, which is really great, which I love. I do like the digital one too, but I like, I'm in the middle there. I'm Gen X. I like a little bit of technology and a little bit of paper. So I will bring a highlighter sometimes or a pen and just highlight or check things off that I want to do. That way you're prepared for the rest of the day. and you have things all set up. So then you're gonna, after you have this wonderful, relaxing lunch, you're gonna have the ability to then go to your room. I recommend going to your room, take a few minutes, unpack, put all your valuables in the safe, meet your room steward. That's gonna prep for a great vacation. Tell your room steward, hey, these are the things that I like. You know, I really like my pillows this way if you're a picky sleeper, or do you have a mattress top because the bed's a little bit too hard or too soft or whatever you're thinking. Maybe something's not configured the way you want it to. Maybe you want to hang up some hooks and get things ready. You just want to prep your room the right way. Do that, take a deep breath, again, relax, get all your stuff put away and unpacked so you don't have to worry about it later. And then, again, take a deep breath, pack your patience, and head back out into the ship. This is supposed to be fun and enjoyable. And then here's my thing for the rest of the day. And some people will do this the minute they get on the ship. Go grab a fun cocktail. Grab your signature cocktail, whether it's a pina colada or you know, a mudslide or a lava flow, whatever you're into. Grab your fun cocktail and really start enjoying your vacation. My next recommendation for what you're going to do is explore the ship. Sign your kids up for the kids club if they would like to do that and you would like them to do that. And then go look around the ship. One of the things that I hear all the time is on day 5 or day 6, I heard it on my last cruise on day 5. I was going to Food Republic for lunch, and Food Republic's like this Asian fusion restaurant. It's in the front of the ship on deck 8 on Norwegian Joy. And I was going there and a woman stopped me and she said, hey, what's this place? And I was like, oh, it's Food Republic. It's like sushi and some like bao buns and a bunch of different things. She's like, I had no idea that was on the ship. This is like day 5. So my recommendation is always to explore the ship on day 1. At least start exploring the ship so you know where things are, you get your bearing a little bit. You might see things that you had no idea were on the ship, like an escape room or an ice skating rink or just a cool little nook or cranny where you might want to hang out at some point during the cruise. Maybe you didn't know they had a Starbucks. Maybe you didn't know they had whatever, you know, think of whatever your thing is. You know, when you get on some of the bigger ships, they have all kinds of crazy attractions. So walk around, get your bearings a little bit. And then my one thing that I generally tell people to do is if you enjoy spa treatments or getting your hair done or facials or massages, anything like that, go talk to the spa on day 1. A lot of times they have specials going on. They'll tell you about port day specials or sea day specials or anything. So you might want to just slide in there for that. And generally the spa is very empty on the first day. So maybe you are doing a divorce cruise or a girls' weekend or a bachelor party, or you're doing something and you're just like, hey, it's the first day. I've been super stressed out. I just want to get on the ship, have a cocktail, get a massage, and relax and enjoy my afternoon. There you go. And then one of the big things that I like to talk to people about when we're advising people on their travel is day 1, everyone is super hectic and running around. They're, you know, trying to get in their rooms. They're trying to unpack everything. They're trying to do all these other things. That's why I say sometimes bring a carry-on and just go do all the fun things that you may not get a chance to do. Maybe miniature golf's really crowded most of the days and you want to do that on day 1. You just want to jump right into your vacation. Or the water slides. Go put your bathing suit on, put your towel on your chair 73 hours before so nobody takes it, and then go do your water slides and enjoy yourself. Because those things tend to get more and more crowded as the cruise goes on, because again, people are learning, oh, there's water slides, let's go do the water slides. And then, you know, pretty much for me, in doing that, right, in telling you all these different things that you could do, remember, you don't have to do everything on day 1. If you just get your bearing and realize like, okay, I want to do specialty dining, but I want to do that later in my cruise. I would like to do the ice skating on this day. I'd like to do this. You don't have to knock it all out in the first day. It's going to be exhausting. First day, it's funny. I always see, you'll notice that like they have very minimal entertainment and shows on the first night. There's usually like a one show, like a welcome on board show, because everybody's exhausted by the end of day 1. You've gotten to the port early, you're stressed out, you're trying to make sure everything's good, you're pulling the kids, you're pulling grandma or your mother-in-law and making sure everybody gets there and has all their paperwork. So remember, just to relax and enjoy yourself. And then finally, as you begin to get to the point where you're going to sail away on day 1, pick a great spot for sail away. Ask your travel agent where to go for sail away on your ship. They will have great recommendations for you. Prep for seasickness if you are aware of that. My general rule of thumb is to not prep for seasickness, and I'd rather be a little bit reactive to that, because I find that the seasickness medicine kind of knocks me off my game a little bit. It makes me a little tired or a little dry, and I don't feel great. So I would rather almost risk it a little bit and then have to reactively handle it than proactively handle it. But again, everybody's different there. If you feel like you need to get ahead of it just in case, then put your patch on, take your medicine, do whatever you need to do. Put your cell phone into airplane mode. Make sure your Wi-Fi works if you have a Wi-Fi package. And then just enjoy the rest of your day and evening. And last but not least, do not go to guest services unless it's an absolute emergency. Remember, guest services is open 24 hours a day. Day one, it's going to be packed. People trying to get upgrades, people trying to change rooms, people trying to switch credit cards, something didn't get billed right, something's wrong on their thing, something's wrong in their room, something's wrong at a restaurant, something's wrong in the lobby. Just wait. Unless it's an emergency, go at 10 or 11 o'clock at night. There won't be anybody there. Get up early in the morning on day two, or day two it'll be less crowded. And every day after that it'll be less and less crowded, especially early or late. And then don't go on the last day either, because it's going to be packed with everybody talking about something's wrong on their bill. So those are our tips and tricks to make the best embarkation day possible for you. If you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to like it, subscribe to our channel, come along and join us on this amazing cruise journey. Everyone have a wonderful day and happy cruising. Bye.